Alright, let me just pull up the questions on my handy dandy cellular device. What? 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 You don't know? Okay, okay. For the love of my goodness. What kind of phrase is that, you buffoon? Anyways, welcome to Dicey Dungeons, ladies and gentlemen. This is, I don't know, like the 4th episode of my podcast. Yeah, no, that's the beauty of it. I literally just start whenever I want, on a whim. This is Dicey Dungeons. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and easily my favorite roguelike. I really only have the witch to do. Okay, awesome. So, this is my compatriot Eli, and this is the second time, not the first, but the second. Gotta turn down the speaker a bit more, just so it doesn't overlap. The second time that I've tried recording this podcast with my essay, my homie, my home dog here. The first time was riddled with literally every single, like, audio problem in the book. So, that was super fun. Eli, what's your name?
I don't know.
Alright, you failed the first question, we're off to a great start. So, Eli, a little bit of introduction to my friend here. Eli was the quiet kid in school. What? What was that hand gesture?
I don't know what the fuck it just did.
Well, you told me not to explain the game to you.
You just threw dice at him.
Yeah. It's a game called Dicey Dungeons. It's probably the least...
made for children?
No, it's made for adults and gamers like me. It's awesome. This game's sick. I love this game. So, Eli was the quiet kid in high school. Well, and in middle school, and even in elementary school. And I was the opposite. I was the loud one. I was the class clown. I was the kid that was constantly trying to socialize with everyone, constantly trying to talk, trying to really enjoy other people. And so, I thought it would be an interesting difference of character, really, to have him talk about his experiences and see how they stack up to my experiences. So without further ado, Eli, why were you quiet?
Well, I wasn't really a people person when I was younger.
Okay.
Because growing up before school, I never really had friends my age.
Alright.
Probably because my parents didn't.
Didn't what? Oh. Well, okay, the way you left that, it was just like, probably because my parents didn't
have friends.
Well, it sounded like, from my point of view, it sounded like a ... like you were pausing for a phrase. That spell sucks. No armor, all defense, or all offense. Okay, so you didn't have kids your age. I should probably tell you, just as a refresher course. The rules of the podcast: no racial slurs. That's a good one. No racial slurs. No people, no places we know. So like, don't talk about like this one guy. You know, don't say his first and last name. Don't say his social security information or his credit card or his bank or his address. Don't say any of that. That's a no-go for me personally. For other people that might be fine, but I am not other people. Are you other people, Eli?
I'm not.
Sweet. So, aside from that, those are the rules. So, I forgot to tell you, but you already kind of knew because we've done this before. So it wasn't like, you know, all lost. We're not completely caught with our pants. It's me. I burped. Our pants down here. So, my next question is, what was it like? What was it like to observe? What was it like to not talk to people? Because this is an avenue of thought that I really just haven't done. I've always been the one to socialize with people, socialize with the quiet kids. Get that phone out of here. No vibrators on my desk.
Hey, you're trying to fucking sell something.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to sell you as a character, kiddo. So, I was always the kid that tried to talk to everyone. I don't know what it's like. Well, I kind of do, but more on that in a moment. I don't quite know what it was like to always try to not be on the back foot, but like let people approach you. So what was that like?
Having people approach me?
Just like being the quiet one, being not one for conversation.
I don't know, you kind of learn people.
Okay.
You know everything that goes on in the school, everything about people.
Right. Is that it, or is
No,
there
I'm
more?
just fucking watching your game. don't know, I just would watch people. I knew when like a fight or something would break out. Who liked who.
Okay.
Never really cared to talk to them, but I knew stuff about people.
Right. Okay, that's okay. So I'm gonna die here. And I don't think there's anything. What's up?
Should've done poison 3.
That's my saddest effect. I'm gonna die next turn, regardless of whether or not they hit me, and they're gonna hit me, so I'm dead. Which was defeated. Fitting. By the way, the podcast ends whenever like there's supposed to be some construction happening outside my window pretty soon. So whenever that starts happening, that's when the podcast ends. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it might, and that's the fun part. Okay. Oh, my phone turned off. There goes my questionnaire. So, you must have had some stories, since, as you said, you knew when fights were gonna break out. You knew who liked who. You knew, like, what this person's opinion of that person is, because I imagine people talked.
Right.
And you being the quiet kid, you had no choice but to listen. So, you got any stories from that time? Like, any, like, interesting things that have happened?
You didn't have to name drop them, it just did. I don't know, I just knew who didn't like who. Fucking fake people. Where they would be nice to each other even though I know they don't really give a shit about each other.
Alright.
I knew when a fight was about to break out, but it didn't.
Okay.
It never did. Except for like a couple.
Alright.
Which are always one-sided.
Is it because, like... I saw, like... Do you know of The Onion? It was a YouTube channel, like a fake news network.
No.
Well, they did a lot of parody, like, videos. Parody, like, YouTube videos. Parody articles, I should say. And basically... Oh, this is gonna hurt me. Oh, basically... they ran an article where it was, like... Average male thinks he's, like... 1,000 times more effective in a fight than he actually is. So something like that. Where, like, people thought that they were hot shit, and when push came to shove, they got knocked out.
Right.
That kind of deal.
Yeah. The ones who talked a lot probably can't fight.
Naturally. By the way, I've been stuck on this level for months. I have no idea how to beat this. I have tried so many different strategies, and looking up the YouTube tutorial was not one of them. That's probably what I'm going to do eventually.
Seems simple.
It's simple to pick up, but not simple to, like, master.
So you just burned a flaming marshmallow, that isn't supposed to happen.
No, it's not. But, okay. So you just kind of got to observe. Do you think you miss out on opportunities because of that, with other people?
To talk to them?
Yeah.
No, that's just what I wanted to talk to.
Okay. And do tell, what was that like? Who did you choose? Why did you choose them?
Well, I more or less waited for people to choose me.
Okay.
I went for other quiet people.
Why's that?
I don't really know, honestly.
Alright.
Because I knew how to talk to them instead of fucking force myself or force them to talk.
Right.
Plus we talked a lot or...
Not to be trusted?
Yeah. Like you.
Okay.
I don't know, if I didn't like anyone, I wouldn't talk to them afterwards.
Right. Alright. So, you're a rather reserved individual, and you've carried that into adulthood. You're a little tad bit older than me. Tiny bit.
Tiny bit.
Tiny, teeny, weeny bit. But how do you think that that's benefited you? Like, being reserved, being quiet. Because it's a different atmosphere in, like, the workforce than it is, you know, just in high school. You're a different person. You had the chance to reinvent yourself. And you didn't, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it's still going to have its drawbacks and its benefits, its pros and its cons. So what are, like, some of the pros and cons of being quiet in, like, the workforce as an adult?
Well, haven't found someone who didn't like me yet.
Okay.
I've always been able to learn people and kind of have conversations with them.
All right.
Fucking. I've learned a lot of stuff along my way about like the things that people like.
All right.
From other people, either by being quiet and listening to them or talking to them about it. And then you meet other people along the way who like those things, so it's easier to strike up a conversation with them.
Right. That's it? Okay, that's fine. Not everything needs to have a giant whimsical explanation, you know?
Well, plus it doesn't really cause drama, because I don't talk out my ass about things
Like other people.
trying to impress other people.
Right. I'll tell you, learning people before actually interacting with them, that's a lesson I really wish I had learned. Because, I'm a social guy and I want to be friends with everyone. Being friends with everyone's not the answer. There's a lot of bad people out there, whether they know it or not. Oh, Magic Missile's amazing. Magic Missile is so good. Can I buy anything? No, I can't. There's a lot of just not honest people out there. And in my experience as well, I can actually relate to you on this. The most friendly people are always hiding something.
Right.
There's a reason that they're super friendly. And very rarely is it, like, just because they're nice people. In all honesty, I've never met, like, a super friendly person that was just nice to be nice.
Yeah, they want something.
Always. And, you know, sometimes it's what they want is innocent, like, they just want a friend. But, in my experience, I really haven't met people. I don't know why I did that one. Oh well.
Can't be able to do something.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Oh, he took the burn. He wants that 8 damage on me. Okay. Like, so being an extrovert, being talkative, being, like, social. I think, like, figuring people out is definitely a maturity thing. It's definitely something that comes with age. Because I only developed it when I started not trusting people from the get-go. Which is one of the, like, best things that have ever happened to me. Being, you know, not being able to trust people from the start. I've learned, you know, in my many journeys that, they're, like I said, if they're overly friendly, then they aren't to be trusted.
I don't trust anyone.
Why would you? People scary. Okay, there we go. We got some action.
Plus, words are words. I never trust anyone. I never take their word for anything.
I do occasionally. And the only time I do is, like, when they've shown to me that their word
Right.
is
They gotta.
that their word is worth something.
Yeah, you just gotta give them the time. And if they don't want to take the time, they can just help themselves.
Okay, so that's a 4 or
Just
a
even.
6.
But you can't just use it too.
Well, no, I'm trying to get a magic miss. I screwed up. I'm dead. I'm not good at this game.
Let me try.
Okay. I'm not gonna explain anything to you.
That's fine.
Do not ask any questions.
I don't.
Alright.
I'll beat this game in.
You'll beat this one try. So hit play. Okay. Yep. Okay. You're going to the 4th door. Okay. Good luck. Yep. Okay, good. You mastered mashing through the dialogue. That's the most important part about this game, is getting to the actual game. Ah, my phone. Okay. So, you're a quiet guy. You're not exactly, you know, the best at, like, conversations. At least when there's a camera. At least when there's, like, other people talking to it that you're not, or other people that you're not necessarily comfortable with. Either, like, talking to you or knowing that you'll listen in, knowing that they'll listen in on this. So, with that in mind, how hard is it for you to actually, like, do something like this? Do a podcast, talk to people, talk to, like, just do something similar to this.
It's pretty hard. I'm,
No. Okay.
Don't.
So
hey, no.
no.
Said
Yeah,
you're
okay,
not
you're
gonna
right. You're
talk
right.
today.
And you already messed up, so that's
No, I
fine.
didn't. I'm doing great.
Yeah, sure you are,
The
pal.
ice cream dude is melting.
Yeah, and you got 10 HP left when you could have finished this.
Look, I got lemon break. Watching music as well. Boom. So good at this game.
No, you're not.
Watch out, throw a death.
Yeah, congrats. You threw dice and ice cream.
There you go.
You know what that makes?
That's called a pro strat right there.
No, it's not.
Tutorials would never teach you that one.
You're right, because it's a terrible idea. Did you just replace your one attacking move?
I learned the spell. I didn't replace.
Okay.
See? Look at that.
I thought you replaced your like one attacking move with your shield.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Forgive me for ever doubting you.
Look at that now.
So why is it hard for you to talk? To talk and like do something like this?
Because I don't like people learning about me.
Okay. So yeah, why would you do both of them?
Why not?
Because it's a terrible idea.
Teaching you how to play the game.
Yeah, you're teaching me real well. Nope, you can't use that. That's a meter. Read what the attacks do.
Oh, we're fine, dude.
Good job.
See, that's what I'm gonna do.
Uh-huh.
Teaching you how to play this game.
You sure are.
I'll beat this game with your health.
2 health now.
Look at that.
You actually do have a chance here. No.
Ah, dude, we're doing a great time. Look, ready? Dude, we're doing great.
You sure are.
We're gonna win the game, watch.
You're dead next hand.
No, we're good.
You're dead.
I'm not dead.
If he gets a
Because
decent
can't
dice, you're
do
done.
anything.
Except
You're
kill you. He's going. You're dead.
No, watch.
You
dude.
lost.
Ready? I can't lose. It doesn't say I lost.
Fair point. Fair point. Continue. Because you just learned another advanced technique called save scumming. It saves before every fight, so you can, in theory, like repeat the same fight over and over and over again until you get a lucky game. No, wrong choice.
Nope. It says throw dice and throw dice.
So, what about other people learning about you?
Well, because
Makes you uncomfortable.
people put words in your mouth.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
That's how drama starts.
People putting words in your mouth?
Yeah, people say you say one thing. People.
Okay, hold on.
No.
If you throw the dice, when it's flaming, it does double damage.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Then why don't you win if you know that?
Because my dice are rarely on fire.
That's aren't mine.
Yes, and then you die.
I'm great. See, watch this. I'm doing great.
Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off.
I already forgot what I was gonna say.
Causes drama, people put words in your mouth.
Yeah, because you say one thing. Fucking. Alright.
I think I already know what you mean. You say one thing, and then it's up for interpretation. People will put whatever you say, or people will put words in your mouth because it's what they interpret.
Right, and then they tell other people, then it turns into another thing.
Right, and what started as something harmless turned into something horrible.
Right.
Like it goes from, oh yeah, I don't like dogs to, yeah, Eli hates dogs. And obviously that's like a super like far out explanation, but it's the sentiment that matters. Why would you replace your shield?
What do you mean?
Okay, so when you overlap, you're amazing. Okay, so like, you're almost dead. You have a chance to win this.
No, you just
That was the wrong. Actually, okay, yeah, you're
Fine.
fine.
You're wrong. Dude, I'm a pro.
You
Have I
are.
lost
You are.
yet?
Yes, you have. Not the right one to pick.
That's opinionated. Alright, I'm gonna get some nudge, dude.
Some nudge.
Get ready for me to nudge.
Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink.
Ready?
So,
Oh, get out of my way. I got some.
no, I definitely understand what you mean. Because I am a very verbose individual. I talk a lot, and my vocabulary is quite strange. I don't even know what either of those words mean. Verbose and strange. I'm a pseudo-intellectual. I'm a fake.
What the fuck is
Nudge. Okay.
Frozen. That's pretty lit.
Yeah, sure.
You're just mad because you don't know how to freeze people.
That's true. I don't. You gotta go to wizard school for that. But people put words in my mouth all the time. Because I'm a funny guy. I'm a wiseacre. I say a lot. I talk a lot. And more often than not, people will say, or I'll tell a joke, and people will either not always get offended, but people just don't think as quick as I speak. Which kind of bugs me because I'm very witty.
Right.
There's a lot of my jokes I have to like go back on, not because like they were too complex to get, but because they misheard me, or they did this or that. And I've been telling jokes. Goodness, I keep belching. I drink a Mountain Dew Zero Major Melon. Now all I can do is belch. I'll have to like just say, never mind, because they didn't hear me the first time, and if you repeat a joke and try to tell the joke again, it's not nearly as funny the second time.
Right.
Or the third time. You don't get that same dopamine rush. Alright, you're winning. You win.
It seems simple. I told you.
You're right, it's a baby game.
It really is.
So I definitely know what you mean.
Yeah,
But
I'm honest.
alright. But so is that the only reason you don't talk, or like you don't like this kind of thing? Like talking to other people, letting them know about you?
Is it bad there? I forgot what we're talking about.
Yes. It's horrible. You should be ashamed.
Shit. That's not what I was supposed to do.
You can get another nudge.
That's not what I wanted.
Oh man. So what we were talking about is you don't like being on like a podcast type of deal. You don't like talking to people. You don't like socializing with people because it makes you uncomfortable. It gives them an opportunity to. Yeah, there you go. You're learning. This game is pretty fun once you get to know it. True. How could I ever doubt you? But, anyways. You were talking about how, like, just talking in general to strangers makes you uncomfortable. Is that, like, the only reason? You don't want people putting words in your mouth?
Most of it is I don't know who I'm
Talking with?
yeah, who's gonna watch.
Okay. Wait, what's the ball? Okay. Yeah. Alright. So is that, like, the only reason? Or, sorry, the other reason.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Yeah, so what he just did is doubled your poison.
You probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, so you went from, like, 7 poison to 14 poison.
Yeah, well, what he doesn't know is I'm a pro at this game.
Of course, of course. Crystal ball. It's your only chance. And it did not pay off.
That's gonna pay off, right? Ready?
Uh-huh. Okay, okay. You're in this. Just go back to title. You're done. You have 1 HP. Alright, I can understand what you mean.
Fight.
Okay. She can turn into a bear. Alright. So, you talked a little bit. You keep messing up? That's fine. You talked a little bit about how you make friends and how people made friends with you. You'd wait for them. Yeah. Get better. She has moves too, did you not know?
Why can't I not do that?
Because you don't have those moves. You didn't learn them spells. So, we talked a little bit about what it's like for you to make friends, and it kind of boiled down. I can move the mic if you want.
That's not what I wanted to do.
Well, what do you want to do?
It's gonna make that 5 into a 4, turn into ice, but
Okay, you can get smacked. You have crystal ball. Okay.
a lot of guys.
No, you have options. There you go. Now you're thinking like a champion. What?
What about it?
Okay. You astound me.
We're getting there. We're
That
getting
was like
to
the
my-
least optimal way to play that hand.
Listen, I didn't go to.
You got this. I believe in you. Okay, so how do you maintain friendships? Do you wait for them to text you? Do you text them? What do you do?
That's more or less a two-person. Well, basically, if I'm friends with them, I don't have to fucking. Basically, how do I fucking? Basically, if I text them, I know they're gonna respond, and we don't have to keep a conversation going for a while.
Okay.
Meaning, like, you don't have to constantly text them every day. That they're your friend.
To know what they're about.
Right. Like I have friends that were like, we were friends with us since fucking 6th grade,
Okay.
5th grade. Since I was 11. It's been 10 years and it's still the same exact friends.
Right.
And I can text them and they'll text me back. I don't get left unread. They don't get left unread. And if we do, it's because the conversation's over and we got what we needed to talk about.
Right.
If you constantly have to keep the conversation going, I don't know.
Well, I think it speaks volumes. If you constantly, if like one person is trying to keep the conversation going, it's just not going to work.
Right.
By the way, I'm dead.
Dude, I lasted longer than you did.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna play a different character.
I'm ready to give up.
Yeah, that character's hard. I'm just gonna go like the first one,
Well,
round 1. Ah, man. So if you have to constantly be the one talking to the other person, constantly trying to like instigate conversation and talk to the person, and they never like put their neck on the line for you, then you kind of already know that they don't care about you.
right.
So I think that's like a fair statement to make. So, do you have like trouble trying to maintain friends?
No,
Okay.
because I know that it's been 10 years. I don't get any arguments or nothing with them, so if you get into an argument over something stupid and they stop talking to you, then they're not your fucking friend.
Right.
Or you need to tell them to get their shit together and stop acting like a child.
When some do and some don't.
Right. Like, I got in an argument with my friend once about Uno. And he told me to say sorry. I said no, stop being a fucking child, and he did. Because I'm not saying sorry for
Uno.
calling out his cards. Doesn't matter to
Like
me.
one card?
Like, playing a card, it swaps, and I tell everyone else what the card is. And he left the game and told me to say sorry if I want to play again. So I said no. Stop being a little bitch.
Fair enough.
Like, why does it matter?
Yeah, right. It's a game of Uno. And so he stopped, being like that guy.
Yeah. Well, no. He's still like that, but he doesn't
Do it as much.
to me.
Because he knows that you won't
Because
let
I'm
him
not
get
gonna
away
say
with
sorry
it.
for something stupid. I'm not gonna beg him to come back to play Uno. I'll just uninstall the game if it's that serious.
Right, I get you. Okay, and is there anything else? Like you got anything else you want to add on to that conversation?
I never try to maintain friendships with people I went to school with anyways. There's only like you
Yeah,
I
probably.
went to school with, truly, and then fucking still talk to, you know? Everyone else. I talk to, they stopped talking to me, so I stopped talking to them because I really don't care.
I get that.
I was in 3 different classes, which is over like 400 people. I talked to 1 out of 400.
The odds aren't bad on that one.
No,
Cause like,
I never cared for most of them.
okay,
Not a lot of them like the same thing I did,
right,
so why can't I be friends with them?
right, I get you.
I know what I like, they know what they like. Obviously it's not a good mesh, so you be acquaintances, you be nice to each other, and go on your way. Just talk to each other in school. You don't have to be friends with everyone.
Right. I get you. So, with all that in mind, you don't like talking to people. That's not your thing. You're an introvert, so
No.
to speak.
I'm a people person who doesn't like people, because I can get along with people, but I hate them.
Yeah, you don't trust them.
Everyone has a fucking
Agenda?
no. Everyone's sketchy. I don't care who you are.
Yes,
Everyone
yeah.
is sketchy towards someone else.
Me especially, because I wear them Hawaiian shirts. I look like a
Exactly.
dealer. Look like a drug dealer.
Like, you might not like this person. That doesn't mean they have friends, but just because you don't like them, fucking lose my train of thought.
I believe in you. I have no idea where you're going.
So fucking like, just because you trust someone, they're nice to you, doesn't mean they're not an asshole to someone else.
Right?
Like, I'm nice to you and stuff, but then I could go around and fuck someone over, and you both have different opinions on me.
Right.
That's what I mean by like, everyone can fuck multiple people over.
Okay. What's here?
Like the most innocent person to you.
Is the
Cannot
devil to
be-
someone else.
Right. That's why friend groups happen.
Right.
It basically just chalks down to who, like, what you both like.
Right.
Like with what one group of people seems normal, the other one might find weird and make fun of them for it.
Right.
Which basically, if people make fun of you for it, there's really no point of getting worked up over it.
Right.
If you like it, you like it. If they don't, whatever. You're not trying to fucking impress them with whatever you like. You stick to what you like.
Okay. Alright. So, what careers and like what accomplishments are you hoping to achieve? Because, for me at least, I'm, like I said multiple times, I'm a people person. My career is like any potential job that I have is going to be like some sort of customer service. It's going to be interacting with people. That's not bad, chocolate cookie. It's going to be me interacting with people, regardless of how kind or how horrid they... Belched again. How horrid they are. So, what are some of, like, the options for you? What are some of the ideas that you got?
For working?
Yeah. Like, you got a specific career you want to tackle?
Well, I would honestly want to work for myself, but I like where I like the construction business, like carpentry and shit, to where I don't know, chocolate cookie beans.
Oh, I get to repeat my next action. So if I choose to attack them, I hit them twice. And so ideally,
Where like the only people I got to deal with is
just your fellow coworkers.
them and whoever we're building the house for, or any of that.
Okay.
I couldn't do customer service, so I get into other people.
Which is understandable. Because even somebody as great as I have my limits as well. And they're mostly just those that litter.
I can't deal with stupidity.
That's fine. Not everybody can. No one.
Especially with what people call Karens. I do want to meet one, but not as a worker.
I have met one. I've met 2 actually.
I feel like the best way to deal with them, if you're not an employee, just to ignore them and just let them work themselves out.
Floss on them. Hit them with the Fortnite default dances.
Because I'm sure majority of the time it's not your fault why you're getting yelled at. So just like ignore them.
Okay.
Because it riles people up even more.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I feel like you're playing the most basic character.
Oh, I am. He's literally the most vanilla. He's the first character you play as. Actually, I think you have the option to play as everyone. I don't know. You can't quote me on that. It's been a while. So my story with a Karen is I was working at my fast food place, the place of fast food. Next equipment has, oh, that's bogus. I was working at a fast food restaurant. And I was the only person working up front. And so up front entails like the window that you get your food at, front counter, which is taking orders for the people inside, the drinks machine, the ice cream machine, fries, packaging all the food. So like we're at 6 things, and like maybe 1 or 2 other things that I'm forgetting right now. So let's see, does this work? It does not. Wait, it does, okay. No, it didn't. It didn't work at all. So what I was trying to do is, so the warrior dice has an ability known as Fury. And basically what that means is like, I can hit attacks twice. So I was trying to use Fury with the chocolate cookie that allows me to repeat the next action, in hopes that I would be able to repeat the next action.
Alright.
But, so, I was the only person working up front. And this very kind, very nice woman simply was not having that. Because I was the only person working up front, so naturally the line was moving pretty slow. So, I mess up her order. Because I'm not perfect, I'm not a god. Contrary to popular belief. And I messed up her order. So she got upset with me. So what happened was, like, she had a double cheeseburger in her order. I gave her everything else. Everything else was fine, just not the double cheeseburger. So she was like, "Yo, where's my double cheeseburger?" I'm like, "Oh, let me just go check to make sure that we have it. It's possible I might have just forgotten it." Lo and behold, I forgot it. And so she starts flipping out. There had to have been something I missed here. I must have been like thrusted into a comatose state or had like an absence seizure or something. Because there was something in this conversation, in this encounter, that I completely missed. I don't know what it is. I don't. But she tries to drive away. I give her food. I give her the double cheeseburger. She's flipping out. She's not screaming at me, but well, she kind of is. She's like she's upset, and she starts like flailing her arms around. So she eventually chooses to drive off. She doesn't get her drinks, because you know she's very intelligent. She's a very intelligent. Okay, so Curse basically like, I get nay-nayed. I get whipped and nay-nayed. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that was a 2. Not, yeah. So she drives off without a drink, so I go, "Wait, ma'am," not even thinking, because I should have just let her drive off. "Wait, ma'am, you forgot your drinks." So she tries to go into reverse, but the person behind her had already like pulled up a bit, so she couldn't go into reverse. So she had to do like a little scramble to figure out what she was trying to do. Was she trying to go, you know, in reverse, or was she trying to like, was she gonna just pull off? Was she gonna get out of her car? She didn't know, and neither did I. I was just kind of waiting there with their drinks, because like I'm a good employee. So she eventually chooses to get out, and at this point she's pissed. She's absolutely livid. She's literally flailing her arms all about, and I don't remember much of what she said to me, but I remember she screamed at me to get my fucking shit together. And I'm just thinking to myself, "Lady, I get paid minimum wage. I don't give a fuck." And that was at the point where I wanted to quit that job for like at least a month at that point. I was not having a good time. I did not like it. I was not long for that area, for that place. And so for that lady to be screaming at me, literally screaming, that was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious to me. And that was my Karen encounter. Would not do again. I forgot a double cheeseburger and she yelled at me. The second time was like, I got called a bitch. I don't know why, I just did. That's it. I can't explain, Eli. Goodness. What are the chances? That was the only one I didn't want. Awesome. What were we talking about before? You wanted a chance to work, to talk to a Karen.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where we left off. Then I spouted off on my story that nobody listened to. Because I'm not even real. Okay. So, like, something like woodworking, something blue collar. That's the idea, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. It's, we need people like that in the world. Personally, I'm gonna go into service. He just said quartz because he's funny. How do you like the game so far?
It's honestly probably very easy.
It can be. Once I finish this run, whether or not, whether I die or not, I'll show you, like, how many runs I've tried for some of them. Because some of them are, like, it's super, like, depressing. Okay. Fury. Bam. Burn 6. I have burned him 6 times. All 6 of his, he has 3 dice. Awesome. What was I saying? Jeez. Now I'm forgetting. Horrible. Youch. That's even worse. Eli, what's happening to me? Oh yeah, okay. I was gonna tell you, cause like, so some of the characters, I have like upwards to hundreds of runs, I think. Maybe not hundreds, but like about 50 runs trying to beat the level that I was on. And this game is a very luck-based game. You get some absolutely horrible ones, you get some absolutely phenomenal ones. It's very hit or miss. It's very like, okay. Bam, bam. Not quite what I thought it would do. I thought it would just raise the dice value twice. But the Jester character is my personal favorite. He has this like ability where he has a whole deck of cards. So like all these like attacks, they're called cards in the game. And so he has a whole deck of cards, and he can just kind of, his special ability is like any cards that are like 3 of the same, 2 or 3 of the same, he can use both of them or all of them at once. And so you can like go through your entire deck of like upwards to 50 cards in one single turn and do like over 100 damage. And it's super dopamine. Okay, so the plan here, get a good dice. I'll take that. I'm gonna have enough. Don't worry, Eli. I got enough. Bam, bam, bam. I win. I'm the best. Applaud me. Right now.
Yeah, you're playing a basic character.
You're playing a basic character. I'll fight you right now. Meet me behind the school. So, like, did you ever actually witness a fight with the Quiet Kid?
No. Like, I've heard one happen, but all I heard was shoes squeaking and it was just shoving, so it really wasn't a fight.
Okay. That's pretty funny, though.
Because if I heard actual punching, I would have got up on my seat instead of falling asleep.
Right.
But it was shoes squeaking and I heard some teacher yell.
Okay. That's fun.
It was a one-sided fight, I know. Some kid got a bloody nose.
Sweet. So did he win or lose?
I don't know. Well, the kid with the bloody nose probably lost, because
Yeah, he had a bloody nose.
they were probably just swinging and one of them connected.
I can just imagine this was like, probably in like middle school.
No. 9th grade.
Basically middle school.
Yeah, but it was... How old was I?
Probably like 53 or something like that.
Yeah, 72. I was
Honestly.
like 16, and they were about 16, 15, so yeah.
Okay. I could kill him right now. I think I will. Alright. So, do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
No questions whatsoever. Your Honor, the whatchamacallit rests. What is the whatchamacallit?
I don't fucking know, some candy.
No, it's the opposition now.
It is candy.
You're a candy.
Whatchamacallit? Who's it? What's it?
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay.
I
Okay.
was not talking about those candy.
Well, I thought.
I was saying Reese's.
What are you on about? Answer me. Your phone vibrated all the way under my bed.
Well, it's better than making the poor people noise.
What is the poor people noise?
What the fuck people say androids are poor people for?
Oh, okay, okay. Definitely buy this game. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Yeah. I know you. You're like a high roller or
I
something.
use my
Your infinite stacks.
my every game system that was giving me stats.
Yeah. I would.
I don't buy shit. These are so expensive anyways. The only reason I play games is because I was giving them.
Okay. What's your favorite then?
Game system?
No, just game.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever. I've gotten into the better rails.
Okay, like Fortnite.
I did. Until I get my shit pushed in by a 10-year-old. And then I stopped because he was talking shit. And knew for a fact it was over from there.
When a 10-year-old's talking shit, that's when you know it's downhill.
That's when you know you're at an all-time low and you gotta like stop playing the game.
If you're playing with 10-year-olds. Like, you're not even going to be better
Kids
than...
like if a kid's not even in fucking middle school yet, the kid's still learning multiplication but can beat me in a fucking video game.
That's when you know it's time to quit.
That I've been playing for 2 years. It's even worse.
I mean, like, the kid probably had, like, literal ages to play. Because we're old. We don't have all the time in the world.
I mean, I did. But I never try to get good at a game because it's boring.
Okay.
Fucking yeah, the weirdest part is he didn't really talk shit. I mean, he did. But, like, the most, like, rude thing you can do in a video game when you beat someone is just say good game.
Why is that rude?
Because you know you're better than someone if you say good game.
Okay, and, like, what, you want to set them down easy or something?
If you say, like, good game to someone that you beat, it's, damn, my train of thought's gone. Sorry for this.
If you say good game to somebody you beat, burn 5 dice. What? Oh, that sucks.
Well, if you talk shit, it was probably, like, a good game, like, a good match between you two.
Yep.
But if you get absolutely, like, smashed on and they say good game, they know they're better than you.
Okay. How do you like getting all 5 of your dice burned? Oh, one of them.
Why don't you just throw them all at her? It does double damage.
Well, yeah, but that's with the witch. You see, I'm playing the warrior. They're different characters, different dice. One of them's purple, the other one's blue. Did you know that? That was the wrong dice. I didn't mean to do it with that one. Shit. Okay.
That was a King Kong Skull Island effect on you.
Yeah, I got. Skill you got. Okay. Well, I guess I'm getting like 9 shield. Oh my god, I'm getting burned again? 10 damage. Jesus Christ. Okay. At least I'm not cursed again. That would be disastrous. Okay. Here's the idea. Bam. Bam. Okay, I don't think I'm dead this next turn. I'm getting... Okay, 2 of my dice are getting... Okay, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. I already messed up, but we're good. I win. Bask in my greatness.
Nope, still playing the basic bitch character.
Okay, well, at least I was able to win. Oh, and the gimmick is that, like, no matter what, no matter how many times you win, you'll never get, like, anything aside from death. Oh, I'm getting called. Let's see.
By who?
Oh, yeah. Couldn't imagine. Let's see, what was it? Is it, like... Okay, so, like, you could see up here, like, where the names are. Bonus round, parallel universe, the elimination round. I lost in this one 6 times. That one I breezed through. These both I breezed through first try.
You know how hard it is to believe that when I found out that you could just quit out?
I didn't even know that until, like, engineer. My dad is still calling me. He really wants me to pick up. And why not? Live on podcast. What's up, Doc? Hello? Okay. Special guest from my dad. He didn't say anything. So, like, 1 win, 2 losses, 23 losses. Thief is not easy. I breezed through that one first try, and I was super surprised, because I always had trouble with Thief. He never clicked with me. Robot took me a while to understand. 11 losses, 1 loss. It was one of them where I had, like, upwards of 50. 19. The Witch is probably, like... Whenever I complete this round, it's going to be, like, 100 losses or something ridiculous like that. Then Jester, which is my favorite. Okay, I guess it wasn't, like, 50. But this one's my favorite character, hands down. But yeah, we're nearing the hour mark. So Eli, is there anything else you want to say? Anything you want to get off your chest? Any confessions you want to make? By the way, this will not be held against you in the court of law. Anything? Anything at all?
Not really.
You want to shout out anyone?
Not really.
You want to plug something?
Everyone can go fuck themselves.
Everyone can?
Yeah, everyone.
You heard it here first, folks. Everyone has permission to fuck themselves. Anyways, that's all for this episode of the podcast, Conversations with Cretins. Thank you for coming on the podcast, pal.
You're welcome.